For the first time in world history, music could be played in perfect quality. No scratches, no static, infinite replays. How did this miracle happen? Here's the shocking story of that silver revolution. On the morning of October 1, 1982, engineer Toshitada Doi placed a silver disc into a player and pressed play. The sound that emerged changed 500 years of music history forever. Crystal clear, without a single scratch sound. Perfect digital music. This isn't just the story of music. It's the story of how two technology giants shifted from competition to collaboration and changed the world. From Philips's laser experiments in Dutch laboratories to Sony's digital dreams in Japan, the birth of the CD is one of the greatest collaboration wonders in technology history. Now I'll take you to that moment when the first box labeled compact disc was opened, because that day more than just a music format was born. As the doors of the analog world closed, the doors of the digital age opened wide. The story began in the early 1970s in Philips' secret laboratory in Eindhoven. Dr. Klaas Kampan was working with the massive video discs of that era when a revolutionary idea struck him. What if we could read music with laser light too? Laser technology was newly born. Inspired by IBM's computer discs, Kampan thought he could digitally encode music onto a disc. But this dream was nearly impossible for that time period. In 1974, young engineer Joop Sinju joined the project. The duo began working day and night without stopping in Philips' dark basement laboratory. The first prototypes were massive, 30 centimeters in diameter, LP record-sized discs. But the sound quality was incredible. No scratches, no static. The sound was crystal clear. By 1976, the first working prototype was ready. They coined the name compact disc during that period. Compact because it would be much smaller than LPs. But they faced a major obstacle: cost. Back then, a single disc cost 50 times more than an LP. So, the revolution was beautiful, but still an expensive dream. During the same years, 8,000 kilometers away in Tokyo, Sony's engineers were dreaming similar dreams. Toshitada Doi, head of Sony's digital audio division, was completely unaware of Philips, but carried a deep belief within him. The future of music was digital. Sony had an advantage. They were pioneers in digital audio technology. The PCM technology they developed in the 1970s could convert sound into digital signals. But the storage problem persisted. In 1978, Sony engineers discovered Philips' work. Great excitement swept through the company. Akio Morita, Sony's legendary founder, immediately took action. This technology is the future. We must talk with Philips. Thus, two giants who were normally rivals sat at the same table for the first time. This was the beginning of a very rare alliance in technology history. In the spring of 1979, Philips and Sony engineers came together for the first time. The Japanese were shocked when they saw the Dutch prototype. The sound quality was far beyond what they could imagine. But the agreement wasn't easy. Both companies argued that their technology was superior. The biggest debate arose over disc size. Philips proposed 11.5 centimeters, while Sony wanted 12 centimeters. Sony's reasoning was surprising. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony had to fit completely. Sony's president's passion on this matter determined the disc size. 12 centimeters was essential for 74 minutes of music capacity. In 1980, the historic agreement was signed. The standard, called Red Book, was born. 16-bit resolution, 44.1 kHz sampling rate, spiral data structure, every detail was put on the table repeatedly for perfection. After the agreement was signed, the real challenge began: converting laboratory prototypes to mass production. At Sony's factory, hundreds of engineers worked day and night. The biggest obstacle they faced was the laser systems. For mass production, lasers needed to be both powerful and very cheap. Philips Laser Expert developed revolutionary error correction algorithms. Thanks to this system, even small scratches on the disc wouldn't affect the music. By summer 1981, the first working CD player prototype was ready. The device was the size of a large table and weighed over 15 kilograms. But the sound that came out mesmerized the engineers. Music with a clarity that no vinyl record could reach. In parallel, the first CDs also began production. ABBA's The Visitors album was one of the first CDs pressed for testing. Bjorn and Benny became the first artists to hear their own music in CD format at Sony's Tokyo studio. October 1, 1982 was the turning point in music history. At Sony's Tokyo headquarters and Philips offices, major launch events were held simultaneously. At 9 a.m., the Sony CDP-101 model CD player was released as the world's first commercial CD player. Its price was $900, equivalent to $3,000 in today's money. The Philips CD100 model went on sale in Europe. The 52 CD catalog released on the first day was carefully selected. It had a wide range from classical music to jazz, pop to rock. The Alpine Symphony recording demonstrated CD format's superiority in classical music. Sony Plaza in Tokyo overflowed with music enthusiasts. Hundreds of people excitedly formed long queues to buy their first CDs. Sales advisor Kenji Yamamoto, who served the first customer, described that moment. "I can't forget the expression on the customer's face. When he heard the first note, his eyes opened wide." The first years weren't easy at all. In 1982, only 35,000 CD players were sold. Prices were too high, CD options were limited. Music lovers were reluctant to abandon vinyl records. Radio stations were skeptical. They said, "Digital sound feels cold." Old generation audio technicians claimed they were losing analog warmth. Some music magazines even characterized CDs as soulless. Record companies were also hesitant. Remastering costs were high. When Capitol Records decided to spend $1 million to transfer the Beatles catalog to CD, it created major controversy in the industry. But advantages also began to emerge. CDs didn't scratch, didn't deteriorate, sound quality was perfect. They were especially ideal for car stereos. They didn't skip during bumps. A significant breakthrough occurred in 1984. Sony released the Discman D5 portable CD player. Now CD music could be taken anywhere. It was like the CD version of the Walkman. After 1985, the dam burst. CD sales increased. By 1992, they also surpassed cassette sales. This period was truly the golden age of the music industry. Listeners were experiencing the excitement of buying not just new albums, but also their old favorites in CD format again. In the 1990s, CD player prices dropped below $100. Now every home, every car had CD players. People could carry them anywhere at any time. Giant music store chains like Tower Records expanded their CD sections while shrinking vinyl sections. Michael Jackson's Thriller album sold 30 million copies in CD format. Stars like Madonna, Prince, and U2 began using CD's sound quality as an advantage. Studio recordings were now made with CD format in mind. CD technology now encompassed much more than music. It would also change the computer world. The CD-ROM format created a revolution in the computer industry. Microsoft Windows 95 was distributed on CD-ROM. The gaming industry completely changed. Games like Myst used CD's capacity to offer cinematic experiences. In Carta Encyclopedia, fit Britannica's 32-volume set onto a single CD. The education world went digital. Libraries began building CD-ROM collections. Students could access information more easily. This period was also when pirated CDs became widespread. The cheapening of CDR writers caused new concerns in the music industry. The CD copying problem began to grow. At the beginning of the 2000s, CD's dominance began to be questioned. The MP3 format became popular. Napster started the music downloading revolution. iPods fundamentally changed music listening habits. Music everywhere, anytime, became possible. When iTunes Music Store opened in 2001, the music industry experienced great panic. Songs could now be sold individually. The album concept began to be questioned. CD sales peaked in 2000 and then declined. Tower Records closed in 2006. Traditional music retailers experienced difficult times. But CDs didn't die completely. Audiophiles still valued CD quality. Collectors maintained their loyalty to physical media. CDs especially retained their popularity among classical music lovers. When you look at a CD today, you immediately feel nostalgic. Those silver discs were the first messengers of the digital age. They were symbols of the transition from analog to digital world. Young people used CDs not just for listening to music, but also as social status symbols in friend gatherings, with discussions of, "Which album did you buy?" Philips and Sony's vision from 40 years ago is still around us today. The foundations of DVD, Blu-ray, even cloud storage lie in CD technology. Error correction algorithms form the basis of secure digital data transmission. While the music industry rediscovers vinyl records, CDs are also quietly making a comeback. Those seeking high-quality sound prefer CDs' lossless quality over streaming services' compression. In the 2020s, the young generation began discovering CDs as vintage treasures. Young people searching for CDs in thrift shops are experiencing 90s nostalgia. Now CD is becoming not just a music format, but a symbol of an era. The original 1982 Sony CDP-101 has become a favorite among collectors today. The first CDs sell for high prices at auctions. Perhaps CD's greatest legacy is this: showing how technology can develop through collaboration. Philips and Sony's partnership became a rare example of successful cooperation in the competitive technology world. Now close your eyes and think of that 1982 Sony Plaza. The silver disc in the first customer's hand was the beginning of the revolution that changed music forever. Those first notes in crystal clarity were the birth cry of the digital age. Perhaps CD's greatest success was being able to become invisible. It became so natural that it was everywhere until we forgot its existence. But in every streaming playlist, every digital album, every cloud music service, those silver discs continue to live quietly. The CD continues to be the conductor of modern life's silent orchestra.